So I was sitting and pondering with myself the other day, right? And yes, I'm one of those people that sit and talk to myself, right? I feel like the real crazy people are the people who actually don't talk to themselves. Because who else do you talk to, right? If you can't sit and have a full blown conversation with yourself, then I feel like you don't really have a good relationship with yourself, right? So yes, I do sit and speak to myself. But I was pondering the other day, and a question that I asked myself was, why is it that some people find their path in life? Why is it that some people end up living the life that they want to live? But then you have a lot of people who truly feel lost, right? That's one of the questions that truly came to my mind. There are some people in this world who truly end up living the life that they want to live. And then you have other people who really do feel lost, right? And don't know what direction they want to go in, don't know where, they want to go in life, right? Why is it that some people find their path and others don't? Right? That's something that puzzled me for a very long while. But then it came to my mind, right? The answer came to my mind. And the reason why some people end up living the life that they want to live, you know, end up doing what they want to do, is for one main reason. And that one main reason is that those people, they live close to their heart. That's really it, right? The one reason why some people find their path in life, find their purpose, find their passion, end up living the life that they want to live is that they live close to their heart. That's really it. And that might seem like such a simple thing to say, but I'm going to break it down so you guys can truly understand. And I promise you, by the end of this video, if you truly listen to what I'm saying, if you're feeling lost in this moment, the path will reveal itself to you, right? Now, most people in this world, they live as far away from their heart as possible. And when I say they live far away from their heart as possible, what I mean is they create a literal cage for themselves and they keep themselves in that cage, right? They create a cage from their self doubts. They create a cage from their fears. They create a cage from their insecurities. They create a cage from, their low self esteem, their inadequacy, right? And they place themselves in that cage and they completely do away with their curiosity. They completely do away with that childlike tendency that is natural to all of us, right? And the people that do live close to their heart, they live with a sense of curiosity. They live with a sense of not being afraid to venture into the unknown. They live from a place of freedom. They live close to their heart and they're not afraid to venture into the unknown and face the discomfort of life, right? They're not afraid to go into the darkness that is the path that is not truly known, right? And when you begin to live close to your heart, your purpose, your passion, your path is kind of dark, isn't something that you chase after, isn't something that you discover, right? It's something that comes to you. It naturally comes to you. You don't have to go out there and chase it. Once you begin to live close to your heart, once you begin to live with a sense of curiosity, once you begin to live with a sense of courage, your path comes to you. You don't have to go anywhere to find it. And even if you go somewhere to find it, then you're being driven by your intuition. You're being driven by your internal guidance system, right? The path comes to you once you begin to live close to your heart. It's kind of getting dark out here, right? Now I want to tell you guys two stories, right? The first story that I want to tell you guys is how I began making these videos, right? And it's kind of fascinating story to say the least, right? And I feel like the story of how I come to truly do this is something that will really show you what it means to live close to the heart, right? And the second story that I want to tell you guys is how I ended up doing these outdoor videos. And that story is very fascinating as well, right? I was in college for pre-med, right? Biology. I wanted to be a doctor at first, and I switched over to a PA. So, I was in school for a while, for like 2 years. But I was working out for a very long while, right? I was working out since I was like 16. So when it comes on to fitness, I know quite a bit, right? And I got in really good shape by the time I was like 17, 18, right? Just from consistency and working out. And I felt like I wanted to do something because fitness was one of my passions at the time. It still is, but back then it was, even much more of a passion for me, right? I wanted to train people. And so I began to see people online who would, make fitness content. And so I said to myself, that's something I can do. That's something that I can do. I'm not comfortable speaking on the camera, and I see people who don't even speak on the camera, right? They just, make videos, they edit the videos, they show the exercises, so on and so forth. If you're on TikTok, you're familiar with the type of content I'm talking about, right? A lot of fitness creators on TikTok, they don't even speak in their videos, right? They just pull up their equipment, work out, show the exercises, right? And so on and so forth. So that's what I started doing, right? Because it was the most comfortable thing for me in the moment while still being uncomfortable because I wasn't used to being on the camera. I wasn't used to making videos or any of those type of things, right? So I started making videos on TikTok, posting them. I would get little bit of engagement. But then it got to a point in which I was no longer excited to do it, right? I started with a bit of curiosity, but then that curiosity after a while quickly died down and I said to myself, I'm not enjoying this anymore. I feel like there's something else that's missing. I feel like there's something else within me that wants to be expressed, right? So I stopped making content to the point in which I had a few friends who kind of enjoyed my videos and they've been telling me to come back because they learned from my videos and so on and so forth. But I didn't enjoy it. And once that curiosity goes, then it's your heart telling you that this thing that you're doing isn't what you're meant to do, right? Your curiosity, your excitement, your passion is always guiding you in the right direction if you have the courage and make the choice to follow it, right? So after not finding it passionate anymore, I stopped making those videos, right? And I said to myself, there's something else that I need to do. There's something else that I know wants to come out of me, right? And then I said to myself, that thing is going to come to me. Literally, I'm saying this to you guys right now. I said to myself, that thing is going to find me. I'm just going to continue being in school, continue doing my work, and that idea is going to pop up to me, right? Pop up at some point, right? And I really had faith that it would. I really, really, really genuinely had faith that the idea was going to come to me, right? And so one day I was at work, I was walking, and there was this voice in my head as clear as ever, right? A voice that was so clear, it felt like it was someone else speaking to me. And the voice said to me, you should make a YouTube channel. Literally, that's what the voice said. And not only did I hear the voice, I felt it, right? It was it was a calling that was so strong. When you have those, when you're searching for an answer and then that answer comes to you and you're like, yes, this is what I've always been looking for. That's how that idea came to me and popped up to me, right? And I said to myself, I'm gonna do that, right? I'm gonna start making videos, right? I don't have a clear plan, I don't have a clear strategy, but whatever idea comes to my mind, I'm going to make those videos, right? At first, I didn't know what I was doing. At first, whatever came to my mind, I made videos about life. But over time, since I had the courage to at least put out my videos out there, even though they were shit, even though no one watched them, right? Over time, I began to truly discover my lane. Over time, what I wanted my channel to be about slowly but surely began to reveal itself to me because I had the courage to suck, because I had the courage to act on my passion, because I had the courage to act on my excitement, right? The path slowly began to reveal itself to me. And when it comes on to life, a big reason why a lot of people feel lost is because they're not acting on those small nudges. They're not acting on those small, you know, that small intuition, that small voice, that small feeling that is telling them, do this, do that, try this, try that. Most people are searching for someone to come into their lives and just give them the answer. Most people are searching for this big grand idea to pop up into their minds without first acting on the small ones, right? Life is not like that. Very few people, if none of the, if any at all, are gonna have this big grand drive, this big grand idea at the start, right? It doesn't work like that. For many people who find their paths, many people who are successful are the people who are willing to try that small idea, to try that small thing that's on their heart. Those are the people who truly discover their paths, right? Now, the second story that I want to tell you guys is how I began making these outdoor videos. And this story is a very unique story, right? Now, sometime a few months ago, I would say like 6 months ago, I began had this strong inclination to start going out in nature, right? I don't know, for some reason, the feeling of being out in nature began to call me home, right? Nature began to call me home, I should say. I just wanted to be outside. But because I was super busy, I postponed it for a while, right? I didn't go out and follow the calling that I was receiving for a while. And so I got out of school and I said to myself, I'm going to come out here. It's actually not even this park, it's a different park. I'm going to come out here and I'm going to bring a book, right? And I'm going to do a bit of meditation and just relax, right? You know, just wind down, right? So I was at a different park and I read for a little bit, I meditated for a little bit, and I just felt really relaxed, right? And I shit you not, I kid you not, a voice in my head said to me, pick up the camera, pick up your phone, and just start speaking whatever comes to your heart. Just do it. Literally, the voice in my head said that, right? The feeling was there for me to just do it. I picked up my camera and I began to just speak whatever was on my heart. And what came up or what came out of me, was that the feeling of never truly being alone, right? You can go back to my first outdoor video where I was talking about when you're one with nature, you never truly feel alone. You never truly feel like you're by yourself. And the reason why we typically feel like we're by ourselves is because, you know, it's an illusion. And it's because we're not putting ourselves out here to be one with nature again, right? And once you're in nature, that feeling of you being connected and being one in everything, you feel that feeling, right? That's what came out of me. Pause. In the moment, right? That's what popped up. And I spoke about it for like 10 to 15 minutes. I can't remember. And from then on, I said to myself, this is something that I would do. I would come out here once a week and just be out in nature and speak to you guys, right? Speak to the camera. Whatever comes to my mind, I'm going to speak about it. And from that day on, which was like 2, 3 months ago, I started making these outdoor videos, right? Just from a simple nudge that was initially telling me to go outside and just be one with nature, right? That's it. The idea came to my head because I had the courage. And not only did I have the courage, but I had the curiosity to act on the feeling or that feeling that was driving me, right? And until I came out here I probably wouldn't have received the idea or received the, god damn, probably wouldn't have received the inclination to make these videos, right? God damn, shit loud as hell. Yeah, I probably wouldn't have received the guidance to actually make these videos, but I had the curiosity and the courage to follow my heart, to follow my excitement, to follow whatever it is that was pushing me in that moment, right? And when it comes on to following your heart, following your excitement, following your passion, it doesn't have to be this grand thing, right? It doesn't have to be this, you know, super grand, exciting thing. You're not gonna just wake up one day and you're gonna have this big business idea, right? That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen like that, right? It's gonna start with you receiving those small nudges, right? Those small guidances, and you have to have the courage to act on them, right? If you wake up one day and you have this inclination to go out in nature and just be one with nature, right? If you wake up one day and you have this small nudge to just go outside and spend some time out in nature, go for it, follow it, right? Follow that excitement. If you wake up one day and you have this thing that's been on your heart for you to do that thing. If you wake up one day and you have, you know, the inclination to go see someone who you haven't seen in a long while, go see that person, right? Follow those small nudges, follow them, because those small things are the thing that's going to lead you back to yourself. Those small nudges are the things that are going to lead to the bigger steps, lead to the bigger things, right? And we feel lost because we don't have the courage, or we don't develop the courage, or we don't even try to act on them, right? Most of us truly don't. And if you don't have the courage to follow your heart, you're always going to feel lost. But your heart is always speaking to you. Your heart is always trying to guide you, right? Your purpose isn't something that you have to go out there and discover. Your purpose is something that is right here, right? What you're meant to do, how you're meant to live your life is already right here. It's your intuition, it's your excitement, it's your passion. And the more we begin to act on them, the more we begin to live from our hearts, then it will take us to where we need to be. And it will guide us towards a life that we need to live. But you have to have the strength and the courage to follow them, right? Don't sit around thinking that, you know, this grand idea is gonna magically pop and come to you, right? Very often it doesn't work like that. Very often it's the small things, right? Don't be afraid to act on what's on your heart because you're afraid of how other people are gonna perceive you, right? Don't be afraid to look like a fool for something that you find exciting. Don't be afraid to be, the person that stands out. Don't be afraid to be the person that is laughed at. Don't be afraid to be the person that is embarrassed. Be the person who acts from their heart and follows their heart, even if other people see you as a fool for doing so. You have to be that person, right? A while ago, a few people passed by and saw me speaking to the camera, and there's a part of me that still feels like there's a part of me that still feels a bit embarrassed, right, to some degree. And I was always the type of person that for a long while I kept myself in a cage, right? I really did. I felt like for a long while I cuddled myself and I kept myself in my comfort zone, right? Because I was so afraid of how other people would perceive me. But the more I lived, and especially from doing this, the more I begin to realize that it's not how you look to the outside world, it's how you feel in the world within you. It's how you feel right here, right? So if other people or if the world ridicules you, right? If the world, you know, judges you for doing something that you love, then so be it, right? A part of life is It's about accepting that you're not going to look cool to everybody, right? A part of life is about accepting that not everyone is going to like you. A part of life is about accepting that sometimes you're going to be embarrassed, right? Quote unquote embarrassed. And that's okay. But the inclination or the courage to follow your heart is what separates the people who live the life that they want to live and the people who feel lost, the people who feel as if they're stagnant and they're stuck in their lives, right? That's truly the one thing is the courage to follow our hearts. That's truly it. It's not complicated. It's not something that is, you know, complex. It's really simple. The courage to follow your heart, the courage to act on your small excitements, the courage to wake up and live with a sense of curiosity, the courage to embody your inner child, right? You see how children just, if they find something that excites them, they just go after it. They just do it, right? They might be a little bit reckless sometimes, right? Which is it's the job of the parents to make sure they're not acting recklessly. But at the same time, they still have that curiosity within them. And all of us still have it right here. All of us still have that childlike curiosity within us. But we have to just open ourselves up and let it out, right? We have to be the ones to do so. So all in all I'm saying to you is this. The one thing that is keeping you stuck, the one thing that keeps a lot of us stuck is that we keep ourselves in a cage. We don't give ourselves the opportunity to act on even the smallest nudges, the smallest excitement, the smallest idea, the smallest inclination that we might have. We're sitting around and we're waiting for this big grand idea to come to us, and very often it doesn't come like that. Or a lot of us, we have this idea of a thing that we want to do, but because we're so afraid of how we're going to look to the world and how we're going to look to others and how people might ridicule us and how people might judge us or how we might be embarrassed, we don't act on our curiosity. We don't act from our hearts. And if you don't act from your heart, you're always going to feel as if you're stuck. If you don't follow your heart, if you don't develop the courage to act, irrespective of how you're going to be perceived, irrespective of whether or not people are going to judge you, you're going to always feel stuck in your life. Start acting from your heart. Whatever your heart has been telling you to do it. If you wake up one day and something is on your heart for you to do, follow it. Do it. Just do it. Seriously. And the path will reveal itself to you because your purpose, right? The life that you want to live isn't something that you have to chase externally. It's something that comes to you once you have the strength and the courage to follow your heart, right? So that's it for the video. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for being here with me. Hope you got something from the video. You know, and like I said, begin acting from your heart because your heart will lead you back to the life that you're meant to live, and your life and your heart will be the thing that allows all the abundance, all the blessings, all the good things, that relationship, that person, that amount of money you want to make, right? The people that you want to connect with, you know, your heart is going to be the thing that brings or attracts those things into your life. And you have to have the courage to follow it, even when others disagree or might ridicule you, right? See y'all in the next one. See y'all next week. Peace and blessings.